This video is part 4 of Microsoft Excel 2013, and it starts on page 34. So open up your textbook to page 34 to follow along. You should have your worksheet and a chart open, and let's begin. We are going to adjust the column width. So we want to make the dates or the year, or the months of the year fit. So we are going to point to the boundary on the right side of the column A heading above row 1 to change the pointer to a split double arrow. So there's a line in between A and B column, and when we click twice, it's going to widen that column. And so we want to do that for every one of the row or columns. And so we'll go in between F and G and double click, G and H, H and I and J, J and K, October, November. Let's make that a little bit smaller, then go in between M and N, and then let's go ahead and finish it off by clicking between N and O columns, and click Save. We're still on page 34, and now turn to page 35. At the bottom of page 35, to use the name box to select a cell, go ahead and click on A7. You can see that here in the name box it says A7. Delete that and then type A3, and Excel won't go to that until we hit enter, but you'll see how our outline of our box will jump up here to cell A3 when we hit enter. So do that now. Good. Now turn to page 36. At the bottom of page 36, there's other ways to select cells, and you can pause the video and read that at your leisure. And let's click Save one more time. And we are on page 37. Page 37, adding a pie chart to the worksheet. Excel includes 10 chart types from which you can choose, including a column, line, pie, bar, area, an XY scatter, a stock, a surface, bubble, and radar. The type of chart you choose depends on the type of data that you have, how much data you have, and the message you want to convey. So let's take a look at each of those 10 types, chart types, that Microsoft Excel has available for us. A line chart often is used to illustrate changes in data over time. And area chart, it's like a line chart. It illustrates changes over time, but often are used to compare more than one set of data. And the area below the lines is filled in with a different color for each set of data. Makes it visually easier to read. An XY scatter plot chart is used much like a line chart, but each piece of the data is represented by a dot and is not connected with a line. A stock chart provides a number of methods commonly used in the financial industry to show stock market data. A surface chart compares data from 3 columns and or rows and in a 3-dimensional manner. A bubble chart is much like an XY scatter chart, but a third set of data results indicates how large each of the dots or bubble is on the chart. A radar chart can compare several sets of data in a manner that resembles a radar screen, with each set of data represented by a different color. A column chart is a good way to compare values side by side, and a bar chart is very similar to a column chart, except it has the values coming from left to right. A cylinder chart is also a good way to compare your values side by side. It's more three-dimensional, however. And a pie chart is what we will be creating today. It can go even further in comparing values across categories by showing each pie piece in comparison with the others. Our worksheet will include a pie chart to represent graphically the yearly expenses totals for the expenses budget items in our personal budget worksheet. The pie chart will reside on a separate sheet, and that is called a chart sheet, and it contains only the chart. In your textbook, turn to page 38. Okay, we are going to select the range A9 to A16. So click on A9 and go down to 16 and release your mouse. Then hold the Control key on your keyboard and select the range N9 to N16. Release your mouse and release the Control key on your keyboard. Now on your ribbon, click the Insert tab, and now click the pie chart type and go down to the 3D or three-dimensional pie. Exploded pie? No, we don't want to explode pie. We want to have just a regular pie in 3D. So click that, and you have a pop-up box that appears with your chart. The chart shows us that rent is indicated in blue, food is in red, tuition is in green, and they make up the majority of our expenses. My red section for food would probably be all of that part because I really like to eat. Okay, still on page 39. We need to add a chart title. So let's go over here. Make sure you're on the Design tab. If that didn't pop up, then make sure you click on the chart because that disappears if you click within the worksheet. So click on the chart, click on the Design tab, and the different layouts allows us to choose how we want this chart to look, and we would like to have a chart title and the percentages on the side, or the key on the side. So let's click this one, layout 6. Okay, now double click on the chart title, or maybe just click once. And now we want to delete what is in there. Okay, and we're going to type in monthly expenses. And then after you type in monthly expenses, click over to the side and deselect chart title. And now we have our title, Monthly Expenses. Turn to page 40. We now want to apply a style to our chart. So you should still be in the Design tab, and here are our chart styles. Our textbook tells us to click Style 3. However, I would like for you to choose whichever one of these you think look the best. And I'm going to go with that one. I think I like that one the best visually. Okay. And click Save. And turn to page 41. We are going to move this chart to a new sheet because right now it's covering up all of the data that we entered, and we may just want to change some of that. But it would look nice too if we had the chart on its own sheet. So click on the Chart Tools Design tab, and then to the right side you want to click on Move Chart. And we want this on a new sheet, so click toggle that, and then let's change the name from Chart 1 to Monthly Expenses. And then after you type that in, click OK. And there you go. It's on its own sheet. And you can see here at the bottom that the name that we gave it, Monthly Expenses, is written out there for us. So where did all of our data go? Let's click on Sheet 1, and there it is. We want to change the Worksheet tab name. So let's go ahead and double click the Sheet tab labeled Sheet 1. So down here at the bottom left-hand corner, with your mouse, double click there, and it'll turn it black, and you can delete it, and type in Monthly Budget Planner. And after you type that in, you can hit Enter to let Excel know that you are finished typing. What about Sheet 2 and Sheet 3? Well, let's look at them. Sheet 2 is a blank worksheet, as well as Sheet 3. If you need additional worksheets, you can click here. And we need to go back to our Monthly Budget Planner worksheet. So how many characters can we type in when we name our sheets? And on page 42 at the bottom, it tells us that we can use up to 31 characters, including spaces. Now turn to page 43. Let's right-click on the Sheet tab labeled Monthly Budget Planner in the bottom left-hand corner. Just right-click on that, and let's point to Tab Color, and this pops up, and you can select whatever color you would like to make that tab that color. And I think I'm going to go with green. And there you go. Now on page 43, it says click the color of your shirt, but you can click any color you want to color that. And go ahead and color that tab too. What color do we want that? I'm going to make it purple. Okay, now click Save and turn to page 44. We will begin unit or part 5 video on page 44. So that is the end of part 4, and I will see you again with part 5.